Rosie, do you know anything about witches?
Hello everyone, welcome to Kill the Cast. My name is Jerry, and joining me, as always, is the ever-quotable Jay.
Bad luck isn't brought by broken mirrors, but by broken minds.
Also, a very good book. And the Silent Hill biker himself, Kenneth.
Hi.
And if you can't tell from Jay's opening, we are covering the 1977 classic Suspiria by Dario Argento. But before we get into that, we're going to go around and see how everyone is doing. Jay, how you doing? What you been up to?
I'm pretty good. Working a shit ton. I started Hunter x Hunter, which isn't really horror related, but we all like anime, and I've been flying through everything that Netflix has on that.
Isn't that Hunter x Hunter or a Hunter times Hunter?
So that's how it's spelled out, but when the characters pronounce the title, they just say Hunter x Hunter. They don't ever say the X.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't know. But whatever. That's pretty fun. All the characters are really clever, so it's less about power levels and smashing things than it is about using the abilities they do have in clever ways. So I kind of like that.
Okay, fair enough. Kenneth, what about you?
I am currently trying to figure out whether this is the sweet tea that I was drinking earlier, and I've been watching the Golden Girls lately.
What do you mean if it's the sweet tea you've been drinking earlier? Like, is it the same cup or like a different brand?
It's Gold Peak sweet tea, but I drink so much Gold Peak sweet tea here lately that I'm surprised that my kidneys are not screaming, and I don't know whether this is the same bottle.
Oh, okay. You're trying to figure out if you're on your second bottle.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think this. Well, fuck it. If it ain't, there's nothing fucking cloudy floating around in it, so screw it.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm on my third cup of coffee for today.
Hey, carb free.
Yeah, fake sugar is in it. It's good
Ugh.
stuff.
Stevia?
I don't know, just some kind of fake sugar.
I got this fucking somebody gave me this oatmeal, like maple and brown sugar or whatever the fuck it is, but it doesn't actually have sugar in it. It's got stevia in it.
Yeah, but it's still loaded with fucking carbs.
That's
Oh yeah, but it's still the stevia. I don't know how I feel about stevia.
Anyway, welcome to the No Carbs podcast.
Well, that's the reason why if I sound any more energetic, it's because all day I have been eating small meals and trying to stick away from carbs. So at this current moment, I have got so much energy, especially since I drank like the 2 things of Gold Peak sweet tea. So no carbs earlier, and then all that fucking sugar that's in that. I am ready to go.
Yeah, you gotta stay away from the sugar too, though.
I know, but I'm just saying. I mean, it's like health food and then a shit ton of sugar at night. Woo! Let's get going.
All right. And as for me, health update. I think I have a hernia. It hurts, but I'm here because I have an addiction to podcasting. And I recorded a guest spot on the Exploding Hits podcast. I recorded a guest spot on the Married with Children podcast early this morning. And before this episode comes out, you'll get a April Fool's episode that is the Trancers trilogy with me, Kenneth, and Alex that we were supposed to do at some point over the past 2 years and never got around to doing it. We finally did it. It's out there. You can listen to it. And I know you're like, well, fuck that, Jerry. I don't want to watch y'all talk about some full moon sci-fi bullshit. Go fuck yourself. They're actually really good and you would enjoy them.
They were great movies. I was very happy to watch them, especially after I got done with the first one. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any of them.
You totally should, dude. It's good.
You would like
so.
them. You would like them for sure.
That's not the one where the guy's head explodes, right?
No, that was Scanners.
That's right. Yeah, I didn't like Scanners.
What? I like Scanners.
Really?
Yeah, I had.
I didn't watch none of the rest of them, but the first one was good.
Add that to the list of horror movies Jay doesn't like, even though he should.
Hey, how about we
Cannibal
start a segment?
Holocaust and Scanners.
I got an idea. Let's start a segment. You know, we've got Jerry Hates Action. Let's start a segment of Jay Hates Horror.
Well, we already have like an ongoing.
I know, right?
we already have an ongoing show with Jay, with us making him watch 1980s horror movies. We've just started specifically with Universal, but we also want to make him watch Hammer and stuff also.
Yeah, we'll get to Hammer. I'm actually excited about those.
Yeah. So, but we're doing a pre-1980 movie today and an Italian movie. And I've been on a huge Italian kick lately. I even watched Four Flies on Grey Velvet today, which is by the same director as Suspiria. It was his third movie, part of his Animal Giallo trilogy. What do we have to talk about before we get in this? If you didn't hear, Mark Hamill is now the voice of Chucky, which was a great move by the Chucky people because no one gave a shit about that movie, and now all of a sudden everyone cares.
Dude, even people who are like, no Brad, no Chucky, are like, oh, fucking Mark Hamill, I'm down with that.
Yeah. All of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, fuck, Joker's gonna do it? All right, I'm in.
Is that for the new TV show?
No, that's for the new movie.
No, Brad is still going to be for the TV show. This is for the Child's Play reboot, or remake with Aubrey Plaza. Aubrey? One of those two names.
Okay.
Yeah. I has anything else? I know me and Jay saw Us. I give it 2 thumbs up.
So
Jay
good.
gave it 2 thumbs up. We can't really talk about it because Kenneth hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
That's right.
But you should go see it because it's really good. People out there who are listening who probably have already seen it. It's really good. Okay. Can anyone think of anything else we need to talk about before we get into Suspiria? Cool.
I don't think so.
I remembered something. Hey guys, in case you didn't know, we are on the Legion Podcast Network, and there's tons of good shows out there for you to check out, like Hero Hero Go Show, which covers awesome fucking Asian flicks. You've got great shows like Hail Ming Power Hour, if you needed a show that takes its name from Flash Gordon and basically has the humor of Flash Gordon. And there's tons of shows. I'm going to start mentioning some shows every show. If I seem a little off, it's, like I said, I'm in pain, so get over it. Don't fucking judge me, okay? You dick. I'm pointing at my screen, and it's not doing anything because no one can see my screen, or me, for that matter. This is bullshit. I would love a Percocet. You got one?
Yeah.
All right, let me drive up here.
I might do that when I get off work tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
I work like all fucking week, so.
That don't mean that I can't just drive to Sam's Club and say, open your mouth and fucking throw it in there, and then I can leave and come back home, and then Reese can tell me all about it later.
That is true. I can't argue with those facts. Okay, so here we go, guys. Suspiria from 1977, rated R, hour and 38 minutes long, rated a 7.5 on IMDb. Shame on you, IMDb. An American newcomer to a prestigious German ballet academy comes to realize that the school is a front for something sinister amid a series of grisly murders.
Dun, dun, dun. Dramatic reverb.
Okay. So obviously I've seen this movie multiple times. Jay, you said this is the first time you've seen the whole movie because you had only seen like the intro.
Yep, turns out I've only seen up to that the point where the first chick gets killed and thrown up through the ceiling.
All right, and Kenneth, this is your second time watching it?
Think so.
You don't have good memory of watching it the first time, is what you're saying.
I probably fell asleep. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I most of the time when I've watched this movie, except for today, I've been half asleep. So I didn't make it through it. But today, it was great.
You know, it is kind of a good movie to fall asleep, though, because it already has kind of like a dreamlike state through the whole movie.
The music is great. Like, if you were just to shut up to listen to the music, that's good falling asleep music.
Goddamn right, man. And it plays over and over again on the menu in the collector's edition, and it's fucking awesome.
Yes, by the way, guys, if you do not have the Synapse release of Suspiria, I highly recommend you get it because it's a 4K restoration of this film. It looks absolutely beautiful. In fact, even though it's a 4K restoration, it's on a regular Blu-ray, it looks better than every single one of my 4K Blu-rays.
And then you don't have to try and torrent it 3 different times and find the right one.
I don't think I got that joke.
I downloaded 3 different versions before I found one that was the one.
Wait,
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about? We don't download movies.
Oh, hush! Everyone knows that we do.
I don't.
Innocent.
I don't actually do the downloading.
Actually, you do. You download it from the Google Drive after one of us put it in there. You're still downloading.
I don't do
it.
I guess. Yeah, you're right.
Quit trying to make yourself seem innocent in this.
Go fuck yourself.
Casket factory we have going on.
Casket Factory. That's it. We're making our own Blu-ray label, Casket Factory.
Yeah. So now I'm just thinking of like, what kind of movies like would you like to buy a Blu-ray from Casket Factory? We have everything you need. We mostly just sell bootleg copies of Della Morte Della Morte. All right.
And stuff from horrorporn.com.
Horrorporn.com.
All the shipping baskets are little caskets.
Yeah, all right. So, I guess before we do this, I'm going to give it to Jay since it was his first time watch. Jay, give us your feelings after watching
All right.
Suspiria.
So here's my overall feelings, and this is the second Argento movie that I've watched because we did Opera last time.
Yes.
So first, we'll start with the positives. So all of the death scenes are really cool, especially the opening one. The lady's face is getting smashed into the window by that big, burly, hairy arm that shouldn't even be there because it's outside a 2-story building.
Witch.
Yeah, magic witches. The colorization of the movie is fantastic. The music and the way that they mixed the chants, I assume, of the witches. I don't know. I didn't really dive deep into this, but when they think, "Wait, don't go in there," whatever was going on.
It's so crazy because you sometimes can't tell if that's like the sound, if that's the score of the movie that the actors are not supposed to hear, or if they are supposed to hear that. Like throughout the whole movie, you're kind of trying to figure that out the whole time.
Yeah. So I love that. The acting was good, but some of the dialogue, like I'm deciding that Argento maybe not be the best writer when it comes to just character interactions, because anything that didn't really have anything to do with the main plot just was very boring and not entertaining in any way.
Obviously, this movie is not very story driven, but there is a key thing that I did learn that will kind of answer why the dialogue is kind of terrible in some scenes. So here, when him and his wife at the time, Nicola, how do I pronounce her damn name? Daria Nicolati. When they wrote this,
Mrs. Argento.
No, don't call her that. She will get very upset. Dario wanted everyone in this movie to be children. He wanted them to be like 12. So when Fox was like, "You can't do that. Make them adults or make them teenagers or something like that. Make them older." He never changed any of the dialogue to reflect that they were now older, which can definitely be seen in the scene with like Sarah and Olga, when Olga's like, "I hear that people whose names start with an S are snakes."
Yeah.
Obviously that's some shit kids would say. So he just never changed the dialogue, but he did do something interesting, which you will probably have to look for next time you watch. Next time you watch, look at all the doorknobs. All the doorknobs are way higher on the door than they should be.
Huh.
To make everyone else seem smaller.
That's funny. Yeah, I will have to I'll have to give that a look.
But yes, dialogue in this movie not really the best. A lot of it does come off as very just kind of childish, and that's why. So continue.
Well, that's pretty much my overall views. It's just the dialogue. Some of the dialogue is the only thing I really had a problem with. Everything else was really good.
All right.
I was really happy with it. The story was good and original. The deaths were fun and entertaining.
Yeah,
the scenery was beautiful.
The story actually comes from Daria Nicolati's grandmother, who claims to have went to a dance school in Germany and left because she thought that it was being ran by witches. So there you go. There's that weird fucking thing. Kenneth, what did you think of Suspiria this time that you actually stayed awake?
Let me clarify. I don't want to say the fact that I fell asleep that it was a negative. The first time that I'm going through this for the show is that I was very bored. I actually was, but I also, like I said, I think that attributed to the fact that I was tired to begin with. And so when I went back and I watched it again today before we got online, it was actually much better, and the visuals are stunning. I have to say, everything for the set design, for the way the colors go together and stuff like that, it was beautiful. The voiceover acting was terrible.
Yeah.
Especially for the two ladies that were dying at the beginning. You know, the first two kills, the one with the glass falls down and shit like that. The voice, especially for that lady running around that damn place trying to get people to open the door.
Yeah.
It was fucking awful. I mean, awful. But overall, I thought it was an interesting story. It kind of reminded me of other things that I've watched. There's a movie that this kind of reminded me of that I'm gonna get you guys to watch, and we're gonna do. Jerry's heard me talk about it before, but I'm gonna get y'all to watch it, and I'm gonna force y'all to watch it, and we're gonna do a podcast on a movie called Psychomania. So it kind of reminded me of that. But the visuals is what does it, and the way that a lot of times when y'all were talking about the score, there's a lot of spots where the score lines up perfectly with the way shit is going on. And like specifically when the American girl gets to the dance place and the other girl runs out into the storm and you see her in the woods and stuff like that, and then the light kind of shines through the woods and all of a sudden you hear witch at the same time that the light shines through. That was awesome. I mean, that was perfect.
It was.
Yeah, Goblin did an amazing job on this score.
I actually would download this and listen to it.
They actually tour this soundtrack. Like, they will go around and they've done a lot of Dario Argento soundtracks. Like, they've done quite a few.
This one's fantastic. I fucking love it. I'd have to say that was probably my favorite part of the entire movie was the fucking score. It was awesome. And there were definitely spots. There were just the main fucking music is just amazing to me. There's just something about it. It's eerie, but at the same time, it's pleasurable to the ear. If that makes sense. Where it's not unnervingly eerie, it's just eerie.
Right.
Yeah, it has this mystical feel about it that when you're listening to it, you love it, but at the same time, there's a part of you that doesn't quite understand it. It has that magic feel to it.
Right. To me, it's something that I feel like that in certain instances, if I were to hear it, it'd be something that a demon would be using to lure me. Because in the back of my head, deep in my soul, I would know there was something wrong about the music, but at the same time, I couldn't stop myself because of how beautiful it is. That's what it reminds me of. I really, really dig it.
I'm with you on that. I am not much for soundtracks, or even noticing scores in movies. This has a score you cannot ignore. It is just as much a part of the movie as the color scheme and the cinematography in this movie. Because this movie is such a visual and audio thing. Like, what it lacks in an actual story, it makes up for in atmosphere and cinematography. Like, we're going to go over a couple of scenes, and some of them just will blow you the fuck away.
Yeah, the audio is a character in itself.
Yes, 100%. So, I'll go over... obviously, I love this movie. I've been wanting to do it on this. It's not my favorite Dario Argento movie, but it is in my top 3. Tenebrae is my favorite Dario Argento movie. Then probably Suspiria. and then Bird with the Crystal Plumage, I think.
Well, out of the two I've seen, I like this one the most.
Oh yeah, this is way better than Opera. Yeah, I'm not gonna go down that route. And this is of course a part of the Three Mother trilogy, where in the 80s he did the sequel called Inferno, and then in the 2000s he finally did the third one, which was called Mother of Tears, and we were all disappointed in it, but we got to see Aja's tits, so
yeah,
I guess
titties.
that's good. I mean,
So
he films his daughter. He films his daughter naked a lot. I don't know why, but he does. Might be why Anthony Bourdain killed himself. Not sure.
probably. I have a question about the dubbing that Kenneth hates so much.
Yes.
So when we were talking, while I was trying to find the right version, you were telling me that how these movies are filmed. At one point, and I can't remember the specific scene, but the Susie, right? She was being talked to by the lady, and their mouths synced up perfectly with the dub. And it wasn't like dub mouth. Like it was like as if they were speaking English.
This movie actually does use some on-set audio. So when they do these movies, they obviously record audio, but a lot of times they just know they're overdubbing the scene, so they're not going to stop the guy who's building on the set from across the way.
Right.
Literally, some of them, like, there are interviews where, like, people, like, you know, the chick who plays Susie, Jessica Harper, she will tell you, like, I'm sitting there doing my scene, and there's just a guy hammering away on the set. Or the scene where she's talking to the professor who knows all about witches. All of it, he talks in German. Literally, that scene is filmed weird because as soon as he's done talking, he pulls on her clothing so she knows when to respond with her lines.
Huh.
So, but
Very
this movie
interesting.
did use some on-scene audio, which is pretty rare. Because usually while they do record all the audio, it's more so they like, it's kind of like having the script there. They go, okay, yeah, these were the lines you said, so you can say them just like this because it'll help match it up better for when they are speaking their language for their audience. But like I said, some people you'll watch on here and you'll be like, they're definitely dubbed. You can obviously tell. And then some others you can't. So yes, most Italian movies are always pretty much dubbed after the fact, but this one did use some on-set dialogue, which I believe. I mean, hell, that whole front of the Tanz Dance Academy, they built all of that. It's a complete replica of.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's a complete replica. They built the shit out of that. It's awesome. So this movie.
By the way, talking about the dubbing, when she's out there and right before she talks to the old guy about the witches, the younger guy that she talks to that introduces her to the old guy.
Yeah.
We've seen him in several movies.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, he was in Blade. He was the one that the younger guy in the first Blade pulled his teeth out because he was like the runner of all the people. He was in that.
Yeah, the character's name is Frank in the movie.
Hang on just 1 minute.
I don't.
Because yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff. But y'all keep going. I'm gonna look this up. Okay, give me a sec.
All right, cool. So, the beginning of this movie is great. You have Susie Bannon coming out of an airport, trying to get a taxi. It's raining. The rain looks every time it rains in this movie, it just looks so good. It looks amazing. She gets a taxi. She shows up to the dance academy, and there is a girl, Patricia, who is at the front door, obviously distressed, yelling at someone, and then she slams the door and then takes off into the woods. And you have this great scene of her running through the woods, and like Kenneth said earlier, there's a lightning flash that says witch. There's also, it's really hard to catch. I only saw it because someone pointed it out to me, and I have the Blu-ray so I could catch it on there. There are reflections of knives in the trees.
Oh, that's Damn, man. I should have asked you what to look for before I watched it.
That's cool.
Yeah, like I actually listened to both commentary tracks today, for because the Blu-ray Kenneth and I have has 2 commentary tracks. In fact, Kenneth, you don't have the special edition, so I don't know if yours comes with a soundtrack. Mine comes with a soundtrack.
No,
Because mine's the 3-disc steel case.
Yeah, mine isn't that. Where the fuck is the box?
Because you got the Joel artwork that I have.
Yeah.
I have in my living room.
Yeah.
Joel.
You're a Joel. Also, congratulations to Joel Robinson. Not only is he getting married, but they're having a kid, and we love Joel. He does fantastic artwork. Congratulations.
Yeah, he's fucking cool, man. I love seeing him at fucking damn conventions and shit. Every time I go, I try to get something signed and get a new T-shirt. By the way, going back to that dude I was talking about, his name is it looks like it's pronounced Udo Kier, the guy that played Frank.
Oh yeah, he's in everything.
He's been in 263 movies according to IMDb. Jerry, didn't you see Puppet Master of the Littlest Reich?
Yes.
He played Andre Toulon in that.
I wonder. At the beginning of the movie, yes.
Man. He's always the. If a movie
excellent.
needs a bad German, he's it.
Oh, he did fantastic in Puppet Master of the Littlest Reich.
Yeah, he was in Lords of Salem. And I'm just scrolling through for shit that we all may know. Like I said, he was in Blade. Damn, there's so many fucking movies here. He was in Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah, if he's in one Rob Zombie movie, I assume he's in at least 7.
He was in one of the Master of Horror things. He was in that Travesty Blood Rain movie.
Right,
He did a voice in the Batman TV series from 2004.
Okay, so he's been in a lot of shit. He's
Got a
dope.
lot of shit.
He's dope. So
Fear.com.
I do love Fear.com.
That's why I had to say it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just noticed this. I had forgotten when I pulled this box down for Suspiria. I've got Joel's autograph on this.
I know, because you got the fuck out. See, mine doesn't have his artwork on there, but since I have that piece of art in my living room signed, I'm okay with it. Because I have the steel case, which is the classic black dancing ballerina style, except it's all you have to look at it. It's fantastic. But mine comes with the movie Blu-ray, the special features Blu-ray, and the soundtrack.
Nice. I gotta get the soundtrack. Amazon.
Yeah, it's really. That's a soundtrack I'd love to have on vinyl. So yeah, if you want like a movie that is made for Blu-ray, Suspiria is that. Get the Synapse release. It is, like I said, out of all the Blu-rays I have, it is the best looking Blu-ray I have ever watched. And I've got tons of Arrow releases and Scream Factory releases, Shameless, 88 Films, Code Red, tons of these companies. But this is still the best looking movie I've ever seen. So, Jay, if you like this movie, if you can find the Blu-ray, I don't care how much. If even if it's $30, it's worth it. It looks that good. I think Kenneth paid like $20 for his.
Yeah, but I also bought mine in the midst of how many others did we buy?
Yeah, we bought 4 movies, 2 each.
Yeah,
I think.
Because I got that, and I got the Arrow release of The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, the collector's edition.
Nice.
And I got the original Hills Have Eyes, not
I assume.
Okay, because I got Popcorn, which is fantastic, but then I also got this shitty exploitation film for the Zodiac Killer because I like the Zodiac Killer, but it's just fucking an awful movie. It was 100% a waste of $20. But what are you gonna do? You win some, you lose. Sometimes you take a gamble on these movies, and you get fucked.
I have an Arrow Blu-ray that I've never heard of, but I like the description of, and it was cheap inside a used movie store, so I picked it up. It's called The Gore Girls.
Oh yeah, I know that movie.
Is it good? Because I still haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's all right.
I was just like, this sounds fun. Tits and blood. I'm in.
I don't know if I bought the Arrow release of it, but
I said, it was in a used Blu-ray store or a used media store.
How much you pay for it?
I don't remember, like $15. I was like, oh, well.
I might have bought that. The Suspiria that I have, which is the 2-disc Blu-ray with Joel's artwork on the front of it. It's $27.99 on Amazon.
Worth
It's not
it.
bad.
Worth every penny, people. Buy it.
Yeah,
Do it. And then take it to a horror convention that Joel's at, and he will sign it for free.
Ooh, Reservoir Dogs is $6.
I've got the Tarantino collection, so I don't need that shit.
You know what? I want them to release the Kill Bill supercut that Japan got over here.
I'm not a fan of the Kill Bill movies, so I don't need that.
Well,
Yeah,
I am.
when you get that, you let me know how good it is, because I am a fan of Kill Bill.
Well, I don't think I'll ever have it because it's a Japanese thing, but
Well,
Actually, check and see if the Japanese release has English subtitles, because a lot of times the Japanese do not put English subtitles on it. But their Blu-ray, they are the same region as us.
oh,
So
interesting.
you can import Japanese Blu-rays and they will play on all of your players with no problems. You just have to be careful because Japanese, it's not a very diverse country. They don't put a lot of English subtitles on shit.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, they should, considering how many Americans exploit their culture.
Well, if we're the way they look at it, if you're gonna exploit them, you're gonna work for it. You're gonna have to get some guy who's fucking nerdier than you to do a fan sub for you, and you have to hope that his Japanese is good and he didn't learn it as a fucking child jacking off to Yu-Gi-Oh in the back room of some really weird comic book store.
Yeah, fuck that shit, man. Goddamn, Japanese is so fucking difficult. I tried that shit once. Nope.
Yeah.
I was
Not
like,
for
fuck
me.
this shit. I'll go back to learning how to speak German.
I will go back to not speaking any other language because everyone else is too busy learning English. Here we go. So, like I said, we have Patricia running through the woods, and that's kind of our opening to this movie. But then it's not over, because then we go into Patricia going into this hotel where her friend is. Her friend doesn't really get named, but whatever. She is in the... So Patricia is in the bathroom trying to dry up. The music starts kicking in. The window gets blown open. Her friend comes close it, leaves. She starts looking out the window, and then some fucking yellow eyes appear as the music drops. The music drops, and you think, oh, okay, nothing's going to happen, because it goes silent for a second. But then the
Joke's
hand...
on you!
Yeah, the hand comes through the glass, grabs her head, and starts pushing her head through the glass. And somehow from there, she gets taken to the roof. Somehow, or another level, or
He
something.
drags her, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he was outside. I don't know how he dragged her.
Magic.
Yeah, pretty much. Stabs her multiple times, gets her chest open enough to stab her right in the heart. Then he ties her, throws her through the glass ceiling. And my favorite scene in the movie is when she drops, the rope comes up from her waist and snaps around her neck.
Love it.
I'm sorry. I really dig the heart part.
The heart part was really good too. But that hanging, oh my god. And then her friend gets killed underneath when a piece of glass goes through her face and a piece of a metal bar from the structure of the ceiling falls and impales her in the stomach and or chest. Like, it is just if you're going to start off a film, that's a damn good way to start it off.
That chick was a dumbass, man. You see big giant shards of colored glass, and you're just gonna stand there and put your hands up like, ah!
She was blinded by the light, revved up like a deuce.
Blinded by the light.
So Susie goes back the next day and meets Tanner, who is she's kind of like a middle school gym teacher. Like how they stereotype that, the stereotypical really strict German woman. That's who Tanner is. She's running stuff.
Helga.
Yeah, exactly. And then Madame Blanc is the astute, very prime, very proper headmistress of the place. She's running it because what do they call her? The directress is not there. So Susie meets all these fucking people. She meets Sarah. She meets Olga. Blah, blah, blah. At one point, she is dancing, and she says she doesn't feel good, but Tanner's like, well, dance. I want to see what you got. So she does it anyway. She gets sick. And this right here is where everything changes, and you have to ask yourself, are any of the other students part of the coven?
Dance, dance, magic dance.
Dance, Pumpkinhead, dance. Because as soon as Susie gets sick, Olga brings all her shit. Even though Olga would be getting $50 a week from her if she would have stayed. And we've already seen earlier in this movie, everyone loves money. Everyone is trying to get money because it kind of throws Susie off a little bit. She's not really used to that. But so it's very strange. It's one of the questions of this movie: is Olga part of the Covenant? You know, you don't really know. Same way with the boy. I think his name is Mark. You know, is he part of the Covenant?
Captain Shirtless.
Yes. So they take Susie to her room. They give her water, and a doctor sees her. Dr. Vertigast. Now, Kenneth, where does that name come from? Dr. Vertigast. You have reviewed this movie on this podcast.
Oh, no.
I am excited that this movie is getting a Blu-ray release this year.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
By Scream Factory with 3 other movies.
Dude, I've got it.
The actor is played by Bela Lugosi. From 1934.
Black Cat.
Yes, the Black Cat. Dr. Vertigast is a nod to Bela Lugosi's character in The Black Cat, which is in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. It is a fantastic movie, and you should check it out. The 1934 version, Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff. So, this room that Susie gets, Sarah is her neighbor, and right after this, we get a great scene where Susie is combing her hair, and maggots fall in there. Maggots fall everywhere.
That freaked me out, and I loved it.
Italian people and their fucking maggots. I swear to God.
So gross.
Jay, are you another one of those people that doesn't like maggots?
No, how do I explain this? It was gross, and I liked it because it was gross. Although, I'll tell you what, I have a hard time with the final segment in Creepshow with those cockroaches coming out of the dude. Ooh, that does it to me.
I know. I hate when cocks come out of a dude.
Gives you a stiffy?
Yeah, no, not that, but yes.
Yeah.
Nikki can't fucking stand maggots, man. Like for real. If she sees any kind of scene or whatever of them moving around, like in the Lost Boys or something like that, it fucking legit freaks her out. Like she gags.
Oh, next time she pisses me off, I am going to send her a Lost Boys meme.
Okay, I don't know if she'd remember it unless you show the pagoda box with fucking maggots.
Oh, I'm going to. How's the maggots, Nikki?
But she legit can't stand it, man. Like when I was watching the movie, I was like, "Yep, that's where it would stop." If Nikki were watching this, she'd be like, "Fuck that shit."
Yeah. So it turns out the whole ceiling is covered with maggots because there is some bad food in the attic. And you have to wonder, once again, is this coincidence? Is this from bad magic? Is this another ploy to make something else happen? You know? Is it a ploy to get all the girls together in one room to use their energy? Little things like that I think about when I watch this movie, because I'm always trying to figure out what the witches are causing. What are they doing? Because they don't fully explain what the witches are doing in this movie. So it's very interesting. So they all stay in the practice hall. And in
maybe it's the collective energy of these young girls that are keeping the witch at the end alive.
Could they be keeping Marcos alive?
I mean,
That
for
is
real.
the
I mean,
question.
think about that. Because the scene where all the girls are in the red room, where they're all in that one spot because of the maggots.
The practice hall.
Yeah, when they're all in there, I mean, there is some kind of eerie shadow behind the thing that does kind of sound kind of creepy.
Yes, and the great thing about that is when you can see through parts of her, so it legit looks like a skeleton is laying there.
Right.
It's very creepy. Sarah wakes up from the breathing. Sarah says it's the directress because she's heard that breathing before, and you know the teachers have said the directress is not there. The directress that we're all referring to is it Helen? I know the last name is Marcos. I think, but I can't remember if I think it's Helen Marcos or Helen Marcos. I'm just gonna call her Marcos because I don't fully remember.
I just finished my tea.
I'm almost done with my coffee. It's very good.
I don't have a drink.
Well, look at that. That sounds like you have a problem.
I do.
Okay, your mother's homosexual, and you just need to accept that. Wait, what?
I said I do. It's opiates.
Oh, I was just saying your mom was gay, but whatever. It's not the next part.
You should just yell for your wife and be like, "Hey, I need something to quench my thirst."
Oh, there's Mountain Dew close to me.
Is it Diet Mountain Dew?
Of course, it's Diet Mountain Dew.
Okay, I'm just checking on you, my diabetic brother in arms.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder about you diabetics whether fucking the sugar is worse than the aspartame.
Hey, I drink Diet Pepsi, no aspartame.
There's no scientific evidence that proves aspartame is bad, though.
Well, I have not done the research, so I cannot speak on it.
But that's a debate for a different podcast.
I've heard
aspartame. When we get off here, I'm going to find this, sir.
I have heard aspartame is bad for the teeth, which is why I stopped.
It's bad for the fucking brain.
Well, I don't give a shit about my brain. It barely works anyway. Fuck it. Anyway, so the next big scene we get is there is a pianist that works there. His name is Daniel. He is blind and he has a German Shepherd seeing eye dog. The Madame Blank has a nephew named Albert, and Albert is coming to the school with the cook, general housekeeper, maid, whatever you want to call her, who is the one who probably put the magic spell on Susie to make her sick earlier, by the way, in case you missed that.
Put a spell on you.
And now you're sick.
Yeah, very.
You have AIDS. Sorry.
Oh.
So Daniel's dog obviously is like, yo, these are witches. I don't fuck with no witches. I'm gonna eat that little boy. So he tries to eat the little boy. We, of course, don't get to see this. It's off screen. Tanner comes in and is just a complete bitch to him. Kicks him out. Throws his walking stick. Like, throws a fit.
Can't do that to Adrian Brody.
Wrong pianist.
God damn it.
Yeah, this one has never been beaten up for being accused of being the son of Sam.
Such a good movie.
So we then jump to Sarah telling Susie to listen to the teachers. Their footsteps are leaving like they leave every night. But Susie, who is in a daze, says no, they're going the opposite way from the front door. But Susie can't stay awake. And then I just want to talk about, there's a scene, Sarah is sitting on the bed, and there's specifically this red light behind Sarah, and it just looks beautiful. It's just a super well shot scene. We then go to Daniel, who is at an actual German bar, filmed in Germany. They did go and shoot this part in Germany. He leaves the bar with his dog, and we get one of the coolest fucking scenes in the movie. He is walking in the middle of, he's surrounded by like these giant courtroom buildings, and him and his dog are walking, and the music starts creeping in. We start seeing shadows and hearing sounds, and he's kind of freaking out, and his dog's kind of freaking out, and there's these cool shadows going around that kind of look like it could be witches on broomsticks, but it's not, you can't actually tell because they're moving so fast, which is just fucking dope. It has these great long shots and these amazing camera angles. and you can tell there's all these unknown forces controlling the situation, and his dog ends up biting his fucking throat out and eating him. And it looks decent. You can obviously tell it's a fake dog mouth when they're putting it near the neck.
You know what the area that he's walking in almost reminds me of?
What?
St. Peter's Square in the Vatican City.
Oh, yeah. I read where it was filmed at, but I just don't remember off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, but that's kind of what it reminded me of. Like, the whole time I was watching it, I was like, man, this fucking reminds me of something. And then I looked it up, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I've never been to Rome personally, but if you've ever watched any of those movies, what the fuck? What was that movie with Tom Hanks?
Oh, the Da Vinci Code and shit?
Yeah. If you watch that, you really get a good idea of what St. Peter's Square in the Vatican City looks like. And so that's what it reminded me of.
All right. Fair enough. But yeah, I absolutely love this fucking scene. It is just generally creepy and has some amazing cinematography.
It really does. I was really into that scene.
Yeah. And this scene is followed by a scene that I hear a lot of people complain about, and it's the swimming pool scene. A lot of people talk about how this scene is useless and doesn't do anything and is very boring and slows the pacing of the movie down. But I would like to argue against that, because this scene specifically is there to make us feel like you're not safe anywhere in this school. You are being watched constantly. Everyone is watching. Everything is watched. So the important part of this scene is Patricia gave Sarah notes, and Sarah is going to let Susie read those notes tonight. They say this quietly in this pool with no one around. There are a few shots that look like they are being looked down upon, but no one is around them to hear them. Yet, that night, when Sarah goes to Susie, who is once again falling asleep, Sarah tells her the notes have been stolen. Which is why I want to point out that a lot of people complain about the scene are missing the point of the scene. The scene is setting up that no matter where you are in this school, the witches are watching. The witches are listening.
And they're turning children into mice.
They're turning Japanese.
Movie.
It's a great fucking movie, though. We need to do that on the show.
What movie?
The Witches.
The Witches of Eastwick?
No,
just Witches.
It's just called The Witches. You never seen that?
No, I don't think I have.
It's got a chick that played Morticia Adams in the.
Yeah, I was gonna say Angelica Houston, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. It's got her in it, and like it's about these. It's about the witches from all over the world, and these two kids, and basically the thing is the witches hate children, and they're gonna fucking, instead of killing them all, they're just gonna, because obviously dead bodies and shit like that, they're gonna fucking turn them all into mice.
That's just gonna give us a second wave of the bubonic plague. They're very irresponsible, these witches.
Yeah, they may be, but the movie is fucking great.
But I also don't like children, so I'm for it.
Yeah, it's such a good movie.
So we have Susie falling asleep, and Sarah's bedroom light comes on. Sarah's obviously in Susie's room. And this is great, because once again, it's showing that the witches are fucking everywhere. They're like cockroaches. So there's a scene where Sarah is right at the door, and we're looking kind of up, and it looks like we're looking through a light bulb. Y'all remember that scene?
I don't right off the top of my head, but give me a second.
That light bulb is actually like a very big light bulb that they specifically made to get that one shot.
I love shit like that. That's so cool.
Yeah. So Sarah hides one piece of letter in Susie's room, and then she takes off and starts running, but she's caught by someone in a very giallo moment. The one real giallo moment we have in this film, because this film is not a giallo, but we do see a black glove killer with a straight razor find her and slice her neck open. She crawls to a small window to a room, only to fall into a bunch of wire.
I fucking love that so much.
I'm interested to see what Kenneth says, because I remember Kenneth saying something about...
I still stand on
like
my
the scene.
original statement about that one. I didn't like it. At first, it looked cool, but at the same time, I was like, it seems like it'd be more aggravating than painful.
Well, it's not razor wire.
Exactly.
I looked
That's
at
what
it. It's just random wire, so it's more along like we just kind of tangle up on you. May bruise a little bit because I'm sure it can't feel good falling on a bunch of metal wire.
And it doesn't, and like, I'm about to be there. 2 seconds. All right.
That's what she said.
Come on.
And I agree that it is kind of dumb that she did the whole leap before you look thing, but the score for the scene is what makes it for me, because it gets so chaotic, and it really does feel like I feel the craziness inside of Sarah's head at this moment.
And like it even, like, I'm looking at it right now, and it even looks like it's just plain wire. It doesn't look like, you know, it doesn't look like the little small wire that, like, if you get like your fucking body hair or something stuck in it, it pinches. It doesn't even look like that. It just looks like plain fucking round wire. And so I don't know. It's just difficult for me to take the amount of agony that this actress is portraying by laying in this wire seriously.
Well, I don't necessarily know if it's agony as much as she is just fucking freaking out.
But the scene where he slits her throat, now, like I said, I just watched that. That looks fucking superb.
Yeah,
Because
Italians know how to do a slit throat.
Yeah, you get that close-up shot of the fucking blade going through the meat.
Yeah, that was a fish.
Okay, well, it looked fucking great.
It does look good.
But I don't know. I just didn't like the wire thing. I just didn't like it. I mean, I understand the effect that they were going for, but it would have been a whole lot cooler if she'd have fell in razor wire. Then I'd have been like, oh, fuck. Or even barbed wire. Then I'd have been like, God damn. You know?
They were probably, when they were making it, they were just like, you know, no one will be able to tell it's not barbed wire. It's fine.
Yeah. 40 years later, these fucking 3 bastards that are making a podcast noticed that that's not razor or barbed wire.
So Tanner claims Sarah left early in the morning with dude Mark guy. That Mark also, I heard her leave. So
see, this is the point because you asked about it earlier. This is the point where you know that dude is part of the coven.
Yes, this is where you're kind of like, I think Olga's a part of it, Mark's part of it. So Susie goes and meets with Sarah's friend Frank, and he introduces her to another man who is an expert on witches, and he claims witches are only for harm. And Helena Marcos is the leader of the coven for this place, and they are under the worship of Mother Suspiriama, which is the mother of sighs. So Susie goes home and she's pretty suspicious of her food because she finally realizes that they've been drugging her. That's why she keeps falling asleep like an idiot.
That Rosemary baby to her ass.
Yeah, so she goes to see Mark. Mark's not in his room. Finds out everyone went to the theater, but no one told Susie. Very interesting. She tries to call Frank, but the power goes out and she loses the call. She dumps all of her food and gets attacked by a bat for no reason. It's the cutest bat ever. I would like a plush of the bat. Can we make that happen?
Yes, I will get you a bat plush.
Okay.
I've actually got one of Mavis from Hotel Transylvania as a bat.
I want a bat that looks like the bat in this movie, though. I don't
want.
want.
I'm just saying.
A girl that looks like Mavis.
Oh, okay. We can do
All
that.
right, then. So she ends up deciding to try to count the footsteps and use that to find out where everyone is. So she does that. She ends up in Madame Blank's office, and she starts to remember what Patricia was saying that night, that she had to turn the blue iris to open the secret door. So she does. She goes down there. Now, as you go down here,
yeah,
all on the walls is writing and all this stuff. Supposedly, it is all occult related. It is actual occult stuff. I've never actually tried to check it to see if it is, but supposedly all the symbols and all the writing is occult based.
The fucking dude, that hallway, that was where the end of it had me, because I was just like, wow. I was like, that looks fucking badass, especially when there you can actually see it when she's kind of sliding down the wall in the writing. You can see. I don't know exactly what language it is. I assume that it's like Latin, but I could be wrong. But you can see the word occultus going down the side. You can see her head go by it. And so I know that right there obviously is a cult. So there's something in there. So there's obviously something that's legit in that writing.
Yeah, exactly. So Tanner, Madame Blank, and a few others are down there talking about how the American girl must die. And it seems like they are gearing up to do a ritual. Susie kind of gets spotted by Albert. So she tries to hide, and she finds the body of Sarah, who has her wrist nailed down with railroad spikes and has pins in her eyes.
Fucking loved it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. The body of Sarah looks fucking fantastic.
It does, man. I wanted to fuck it
all of the stuff
so hard
in this movie.
Yeah, there's not much in this movie that doesn't look good. It's such a visual feast. I really want to do drugs and watch this movie.
I really want to watch
I'm with
this
you.
movie.
I haven't done drugs in like 12, 14 years, and I'm with you.
Yeah, I haven't done drugs in like 12 minutes.
Yeah,
and I've
really
wanted
drugs.
So, being spotted by Albert and her trying to hide, Pavo is sent after her. She ends up running into a room that turns out to be the room of Helen Marcos. Now, in this room, there is an homage to Dario Argento's very first movie, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. As you see this beautiful peacock glass statue that's lit up and looks absolutely amazing.
And then it gets broken.
And Marcos starts laughing and taunting Susie as she's holding one of the feathers for the bird with the crystal plumage. Sarah comes into the room holding a knife, and Susie is kind of stuck between, do I try to fight Sarah with a knife, or do I try to fight this invisible laughing witch? But through the lightning, she can see the outline of Marcos. So she stabs her in the fucking neck with the crystal plumage of the bird. And at this point, the Dance Academy goes crazy. Madame Blanc and all them are writhing around in pain, kind of like me after the show. The place is getting set on fucking fire. And the whole movie just kind of ends with her walking out into the rain as the Academy burns. Yes, go ahead.
Since this is the first in a trilogy, are the sequels just like the Conjuring stuff, where it's kind of like in the same universe and sort of related, or are they like direct sequels?
Okay, neither, both.
Fantastic.
You can't really, it's a trilogy. They all take place in the same exact Earth, and they take place in different cities and all deal with a different mother. Like the next one, Inferno, takes place in New York, and deals with the mother of
Dragons.
No shit. What does that one deal with? I'm trying to remember. Because obviously it's not the Mother of Tears. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
I'll do a quick Google search for you.
Fuck me India, fuck me Thailand.
This German guy's eyebrows, man. Jesus.
Yeah, it's a lot. But Inferno is also filled with a whole lot of visual stuff, it's same thing where it's kind of very light on it. This one is Mother, and Inferno is Mother Latriamrum, which is I think was supposed to be like the beautiful one. Yeah, Mother of Darkness. Because the third one, Mother of Tears, is Mother Tenebronarum, which is supposedly the youngest and the cruelest, but also the most powerful one.
Okay, so the biggest thing that links these together is just witches.
So
pretty much
what I just read really quick in Wikipedia is that these are 3 like ancient sisters, and so each movie is about a different sister.
Yes, but like I said, there's not real. The third one has the most story, and the third one's the worst one.
Fantastic.
So what are you gonna do?
Masturbate.
Because I would honestly say, like, personally, original Suspiria is my favorite. Then the remake of Suspiria, then Inferno, then Mother of Tears way at the bottom. So, because I liked the Suspiria remake. To me, it was a great way to redo this movie, but have it more focused on an actual story and a plot,
right?
Instead of being this visual masterpiece. And like I said in the Facebook group, if you're gonna watch one of the almost 3-hour long movies from 2018, watch Suspiria over The House That Jack Built.
I like The House That Jack Built.
I think the director forgot that there's an audience that's supposed to be watching these movies.
Maybe he made it just for me.
He might have. No, he made it just for himself. He's been very clear about that. So yeah, that is Suspiria. It has, it's such a visual movie. It's even hard to talk about it because, like I said, there's not a lot of plot for us to discuss. There's not a lot of depth for us to go into. Most of the movie is in mystery. It is just a movie that you visually have to just take in and enjoy the ride. And some people complain because it doesn't have much of a story, and some people don't like the pacing. Me, I have no problem with the pacing. I think it does very well for the mystery of this.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the pacing either.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. So, I highly recommend it. This is a movie that constantly gets thrown in the greatest horror movies of all time, best of the best, 10 out of 10s. And I think visually, it might be the best visual horror movie ever made. Period. Throwing down the gauntlet and saying that.
Fair enough.
Woo!
All right. Anybody have anything else they have left to say about Suspiria?
No, it does make me want to watch the other 2 just to see how it all stacks up and plays out. But yeah, it was enjoyable. I'm glad that we reviewed it so I could actually sit down and watch it.
I like Inferno.
Because I probably wouldn't have watched it if we'd not.
You know, the more that I watch movies like this, I really start seeing where, and I know I don't know how Jay feels about it because I can't remember, but I know Jerry didn't like it. I'm really starting to feel where the inspiration for Lords of Salem came from.
I've never seen it.
I don't not like Lords of Salem. I think it's an okay movie.
But like I said, I can see it. I can see where it's coming from because there's a lot of shit like this in Lords of Salem. The visual look of it and stuff like that. I mean, because the story in Lords of Salem ain't that great, but from an artistic cinematography standpoint, the movie's fucking awesome.
Yes, but Suspiria does it in a way that doesn't make me stop and go, "Oh yeah, this is an art moment."
Right, but my point is that I'm not saying that Lords of Salem is the greatest fucking movie in the world, but I'm just saying
that's what Rob Zombie failed at capturing that Suspiria has.
Right.
At no point when you're watching Suspiria do you stop and go, "Oh yeah, this is art, this is a movie." Like you might go, "God damn, that was a beautiful shot," but like in Lords of Salem, there's these particular points. Like, for instance, there's a random music video in the movie where she's fucking with a goat or something. I can't remember exactly what it is. She's in a church and she's dancing with a goat or something.
And she's burning through the witches, and through the ditches.
Yeah, but she never drags in the back of a Dragula. But like, you stop and you just go, what is this all of a sudden Rob Zombie movie? Like, in Lords of Salem, you get stopped and you are reminded that this is an art piece, as to where Suspiria still feels like a movie throughout the entire thing. It's only when you first watch it, you're so amazed by it. While I can admit its flaws, that's one thing. But you're right. Rob Zombie definitely took from Suspiria for Lords of Salem.
That's the only thing. I feel like that a lot of the inspiration for the way he did it, because you can definitely see Argento in it, and you can also see Stanley Kubrick in it.
Yeah, I'm just glad he finally stopped taking stuff from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I thought every movie he made was going to be just shit stolen from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Well, I guess we're going to find out when we see this new one that's coming out.
Yeah. And for the record, I'm not a Rob Zombie hater.
Nope, you look at his movies and judge them each individually and fairly.
Yes.
You fucking love The Devil's Rejects.
I love The Devil's Rejects. Rob Zombie so far makes two types of movies. A visual movie and a character movie. House of a Thousand Corpses, visual movie. Devil's Rejects, character driven. Halloween remake, character driven. Halloween 2, visual. Lords of Salem,
Isn't that
visual.
fucking crazy too, man? Is it's just like you got your first one and the sequel, and they're both each style of movie that he does.
Yeah. He does make a third type of movie. Shit. Which is 31. Because that movie is fucking garbage.
And I
want to kind of do it on the podcast just because I want to bitch about this movie.
Dude, I'm with you because, like I said, I bought it on Blu-ray, man. I wanted to like this movie. I even gave it a second and third shot. And Jerry knows I fucking never do that.
I want to see the X-rated version that went to the MPAA 3 times.
And he was supposed to put it out, and he didn't. He was supposed to send it out, and he didn't do it. That was actually part of what some of the people that fucking gave money to have the movie made through the GoFundMe or whatever that he did, and he never sent it out. And then he also made a fucking it was either something on Twitter or whatever else that he said that he was going to release it, and he never did. He was going to release an unrated director's cut on Blu-ray, and it never got released.
Yeah, the whole thing was just a bunch of shit. I don't know what happened. And because when I didn't watch the movie when it came out, Kenneth did, and he kind of told me about the movie, and I told him I didn't care about spoilers, so he kind of told me about it. And I described the movie without seeing it as, so someone wanted to make a shitty Rob Zombie copycat movie, and it just so happened that Rob Zombie was the one that did it.
Yeah, I think we talked about it when it first came out, just for a quick minute before we reviewed whatever we were actually reviewing.
But I've seen it now.
I even watched what pieces that I could find of the documentary of the making of that came with it, because I specifically wanted to watch that because I have a lot of faith in Rob Zombie, and I've liked every one of his movies other than this one. Lords of Salem probably being the weakest until I watched it a couple of times. But damn, I watched the making of, and I still was like, I just couldn't.
I just don't understand how a movie can have so much interesting shit in it and be that boring. Like, and you copped out on that fucking ending. That
about
ending,
31 or Lords of Salem?
31.
Yeah.
I'm strictly talking about 31. It has so much interesting shit in it, and yet it's still so fucking boring. And that movie should have ended with the knife going into the person as soon as that fucking buzzer went off. Movie should have ended there. Should have been a fuck you, and it wasn't. It copped out with a fucking stupid ending. Fuck you, Rob Zombie, right now, because you're making my hernia fucking hurt.
But like I said, maybe
something way more enjoyable.
Maybe he'll redeem himself with 3 from Hell. I am hoping, because if he outdid himself and he did this one as good as The Devil's Rejects, it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah, because The Devil Rejects is easily top 10 post 2000 horror movie of all time. Minimum top 5 probably.
I mean, I'll be honest.
Watch that.
I really like The Devil's Rejects, but I'll be honest. I'm one of the people that's a House of a Thousand more than The Devil's Rejects.
Oh no, I'm Devil's Rejects all day. Jay,
but I saw House
one?
of a Thousand in the theater.
So I've only watched Devil's Rejects once in the theater, and I don't think I've watched it since it came out.
Wow.
Yep.
I can't tell you how times I've watched it.
But I want to buy the combo pack's like $14 on Amazon. I want to pick it up, and I'll give both of them a rewatch.
But generally, if I watch a movie and the first time that I watch it, I think it absolutely 100% sucks, I'll give it a second watch. And on the second watch, if I still think it 100% absolutely sucks, that's it.
I don't think it sucked, but I also wasn't. I didn't have as much of an analytical movie watching brain at the time, and so its pace might have thrown me off. Like, I remember enjoying it, but apparently not enough to ever rewatch it. So it's definitely time for a revisit.
Yeah, because it's so character driven. It's really good.
But if I enjoy a movie, Jerry knows I'll watch it 1,000 times. Hell, back in the day, my ringtone on my fucking phone was when Otis is I am the devil and I'm here to do the devil's work. Yeah, that was on there. And then the other one that I had was the next words that come out of your mouth better be some brilliant fucking Mark Twain shit, because they're definitely getting chiseled on your tombstone.
That's pretty good, yeah.
That's fucking superb. That is one of the greatest lines I've ever heard.
Yeah. Because, like, and it's... when I did Exploding Heads, I had to rewatch the original My Bloody Valentine. And I got to watch the uncut version, or what we have for the uncut version. Because I have the well out of print Blu-ray that goes for like $60. And dude, that movie for being 1981 is brutal and gory as fuck. If you, because you probably cannot get the Blu-ray because it's like I said, $40 to $60. Jay, if you can find a download of it, of the uncut version, need to watch it because you love 80s slashers.
I do. I know I've watched that one. I don't know if I've seen the uncut.
So the Blu-ray, when it shows like all the cutout footage, it's not mastered the same way, so it drops in quality, but it gives it this really cool grindhouse feel that makes it even more brutal. It's great. I highly recommend, Jay, if you don't, because we did that and we did Night of the Creeps, which is the better Night of movie from the 80s. Fuck Night of the Comet. It's all about Night of the Creeps.
Jesus Christ, man.
What?
$150 fucking dollars.
For what?
My Bloody Valentine Special Edition.
Oh, yeah, I've got it sitting over here on my shelf.
Jesus.
I have the remake on Blu-ray.
I've got the remake too, but yeah, I've got the original. I bought it for $4 on Black Friday one year. I bought it, The Crow, and Goodfellas on a Black Friday.
So the Blu-ray I have that's worth like $60, or it may have dropped now because I know Germany or wherever released the super special edition. But I bought the American Dawn of the Dead Blu-ray from an FYE for like $5.
Yeah. Oh, Dawn of the Dead. The original is getting another Blu-ray release.
No, the price will go down on the original then.
Yeah. It's getting a new, better Blu-ray release coming out soon.
And then if you
because
scroll
the same
down,
company is also releasing Martin.
Oh, cool.
Which is super dope.
I don't know if this is the remake or... Find out.
But if you look up the My Bloody Valentine Blu-ray on Amazon, and then you scroll down a little further, there is a necklace of a fucking removed penis.
Wait, what?
It is a necklace of a cut-off penis a little bit further down for 39 cents plus $2.99 shipping. Halloween scary decorations horror prop, bloody zombie food body part organ.
Alrighty then.
And it's a penis.
It's a penis.
And then Game of Thrones, the complete seasons 1 through 7, Blu-ray disc and digital, $109.
Oh wow, that's fucking cheap.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we're about to finish up, but before we finish up, we've got one more thing we're going to cover. A while back, we did the first episode of the 1997 anime Berserk.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite fucking things in the world. So we decided we're gonna keep doing it. So we're about to tackle episode 2. All right, episode 2, original air date October 14th, 1997, which means came out on my birthday. I just wanted you to know that. This episode is called Band of the Falcon.
Really?
Or Taka no Dan. Or, well, that's the Japanese one. I don't know what the American one is.
Well, no, I'm just because it's Band of the Hawk. Why would they call it the episode Band of the Falcon?
Oh, in Japan, they kind of interchange Hawk and Falcon.
Oh.
Depending on who you're talking to. Griffith kind of become eventually, like, they have an arc where they call it the Millennium Falcon.
No, they don't.
Yes, swear to God.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I love it.
Oh,
fuck.
So sometimes in the American translations, it'll come up as Band of the Hawk or Band of the Falcon.
Okay.
But yes, in America, we mostly call it Band of the Hawk.
Okay.
Right.
Woo!
So we start off with war. We're going into war. We have a gigantic man named Bazuso. He is the 30-man slayer.
He kind of
at
looks
this
like
castle.
Baymax.
They gave him like 5 nicknames.
Yeah, Bear Slaughterer and shit. So the commander who's in charge is like, I will give someone a bonus for killing Bazuso. No one's stepping up. So enter Guts, and this is young Guts. This is like,
How old would you estimate Guts to be?
15 probably.
Yeah, I was thinking between 15 and 17 was my guess.
With a fucking completely middle-aged man voice still.
Yes, it always fucking throws me off when he has this voice because I'm so good. And luckily in the series, they have like a thing where they jump like 5 years. So you kind of get to go into adult Guts quickly because it is very weird.
Yeah.
So Guts steps forward with his sword, which is much bigger than most swords because even as a kid, he had to use full-size swords. So he is always trained with bigger swords. So he gets in a fight with Bazuso, and they exchange blows. And at one point, Bazuso's axe swings down, and Guts blocks it with his sword, putting a nice big crack in the axe. So then when Bazuso swings towards Guts again, it hits Guts in the head, but the axe breaks, knocks off Guts' helmet, and that burp really fucking hurt.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
And the sword goes into the side of Bazuso.
I thought it was cool.
It is awesome.
It's badass. Is what it is.
Even though I still think Bazuso looks like Baymax.
You know, he does. He's a nice medieval Baymax.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, it's like when you look at him in his armor that is perfectly made for a giant fat guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's almost like what I would look like if I had armor that was form fit. And damn, that's exactly what it looks like. And my first thought was, oh, it's Baymax with armor on.
Yeah. So watching this fight is Griffith and Corkus and Casca and other members of the Hawk as they talk about how strong Guts is, but he would be no match for Griffith. They decide to evacuate the fort. Outside the fort, after the battle is over and they have won, the nobleman tries to pays Guts and says that he was impressed. And even though he thinks that Bazuso's death was a fluke, he would offer him to work for him on a regular basis, eventually tripling his pay and promoting him to a ranked warrior. But Guts is like, go fuck yourself. And when the nobleman touches Guts to try to bring him back, Guts sends him this evil, cold fucking look and is pretty much like, don't touch me, don't you ever touch me, which is very important. You'll learn about that later on in the series. So remember that, Kenneth. Guts does not like to be touched. And there's a reason
he
for
does
it.
not. Don't touch me there.
Yeah, especially a man's touch.
Okay.
So, yeah. Guts leaves with his pay, walking down a nice dirt road. And who would see him but the Band of the Hawk? And Corkus decides, hey, he just got a bunch of money for killing Bazuso. let's go rob him. Griffith says you can do as you please. So they run off down there. But before they do, Casca tells them there's no way they can defeat him. They're going to die. And Corgus responds with, I'm the one that was supposed to kill Bezuso and become famous, and I won't be satisfied until I kill the Wanderer who came between me and my glory. Which Casca is just like, yeah, you're going to die. Judah, who is also another member of the Band of Hawk, he's kind of like a jack of all trades, kind of says the same thing and is just like, Griffith, this isn't all right. We shouldn't let him go. But they do. They go off anyway. It says Dante, but I thought I had a different name.
It's Goku. Guts cuts off Goku's arm.
No, because Goku as a voice actor comes back multiple times in the series.
Yes, he does. But in this instance,
in the Japanese version, his name is Dante, but in the American version, his name is Dan. And Guts slices through him and his fucking horse. They next send Errol. Well, that's not the voice. That Earl in the American version, who loses his arm. And Guts is just fucking them up. So Casca gets sent down there by Griffith to take care of it. Casca, who is the best sword fighter right under Griffith, also pretty much loses to Guts. Even with Guts taking an arrow to the arm, Griffith comes down and not only blocks Guts' swing with only one hand on his tiny rapier sword, he then sends Guts down with one swing.
More like a stab, rather.
Well, yeah, I mean, he kind of, I guess, slides it down, stabs him. He's got that gentle
Pokes
stab.
him.
Yes, basically. And I absolutely love the music that plays during this. That starts when Griffith throws his spear to stop Guts from killing Casca. I just love it. And you also in this scene will start seeing how they save money on this series by doing these shots where there's absolutely no animation. And they just kind of make the shot bigger.
Pan the camera over a still image, yeah. That's a classic anime trick, though.
Yeah, but the one thing I will say about the series is it never comes off as cheap to me because
it's gorgeous.
It looks really good. And sometimes they actually put in these nice, like, really detailed drawings over it, which is really good. But usually when they do it, they will have the music playing, which the music in this whole show is super fucking good.
I agree.
So then we go to Guts dreaming.
Yeah.
Getting a little too excited over there.
Hot. No, this is why Guts doesn't like to be touched.
Oh no, we don't have that part yet. So Guts has a dream as he is a child running from a terrifying monster. The monster won't die. He runs into Gambino, his adoptive father, and to help him. But Gambino is just like, I can't help you. Don't you remember?
I'm a fucking corpse.
Yeah, you killed me. You ran a sword through my body. So the giant
all while he's talking to him while the dog is giving him head.
Pretty much. The giant hands pin down Guts while Gambino continues saying, "You were the one that deserved to die." A bunch of skeletons surround Guts chanting, "You should die," while Guts cries out that he's sorry. And I really want to take the image of those skeletons and like somehow turn that into a Kill the Cat shirt.
I'm sure we could do it.
It was dope. So once again, Guts starts waking up. He's wrapped in bandages, and you can hear him saying, "Don't touch me, don't touch me," when he realizes that there are black eyes staring back at him. Turns out he's been laying naked with Casca the whole time because Griffith said it is a woman's job to lay with a man to keep him warm. Now, note, I know what you're thinking, fucking sexist, but let's keep in mind this is medieval times, okay? Different community back then, okay? All right. With that being said, Guts finally wakes up. He goes out there, and Casca comes up, punches him in the ribs. Then Griffith comes over and asks him to come walk and talk with him. As they walk and talk, eventually it becomes time to fight. As Griffith is like, I want you to join the Band of the Hawk. And Gus is like, no way in hell. In the manga, it's kind of funnier because in the manga, when Guts is like, you can do with me whatever you want. In the manga, he's like, my ass or my sword, whatever you want. Because there's this whole implication of Griffith being super gay.
Well, he does look like a character from Inuyasha.
Okay, the next time you say some disrespectful shit about our Lord and Savior Griffith, you will find yourself with a stubbed toe, and you won't know how it happened. Okay? All right? I'm letting you know. I'm serious around here. So they decide that they are going to have to fight it out, and the winner gets their way. If Guts wins, he is going to put a hole in Griffith's chest as big as a sword, and if Griffith wins, Guts will belong to him. And that is the episode. Dun. Let's go to Kenneth. Kenneth, what did you think about this episode?
I actually really enjoyed it. In the interest of time, I wasn't able to go to the next one. Had I not had to worry about time, I probably would have. Went ahead and watched the next one just to see what happens.
I was telling Jerry that I really I watched it and I was like, God damn, I just want to watch the rest of it now.
Right. I mean, but I actually really enjoyed it. I'm really eager to see how much of a badass that Griffith is and why he is. Because even though I made the crack about Inuyasha, it still seems like he's a very interesting character. And I'd really like to see where Guts, how all this shit goes on with Guts. I mean, the two of them. Everybody else, I'm just kind of like, except for I was watching in the first episode earlier that when Guts was having his little fever dream or whatever else, there's this succubus looking thing that I'm kind of interested about.
Oh, what's her name? Slaine.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how that goes.
Slaine.
So, I think
it's part of the God Hand.
I think the only thing that this show is missing is tits.
They do have that in this show. It's not there. This is a show that does, while it does have some nudity, it's not a lot, and it's only when it's necessary. They do not do unnecessary fan service.
Right. So I'm really on this particular show, because you know how I am about the anime. On this particular show, I'm wanting the violence to make up for the lack of nudity.
Yeah, there is some really, really good stuff coming. In fact, we will probably, depending on what movie we do next episode, maybe we'll do 2 episodes of Berserk, because it doesn't take that long to go through them. And it's more just about, because me and Jay have seen the series multiple times. I'm currently caught up on the manga. Well,
I mean, you know me, and I mean, I don't know if I could swear I have, but I don't know if I've said it before on the show. But you know me, when it comes to my anime, man, that I look for extreme nudity and extreme violence, and it's got to have one or the other when I watch it. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm really picky about anime. Also, I like darker anime. I need serious anime. I no longer am satisfied by the standard Dragon Ball Z trope.
See, shonen anime is my favorite.
Yeah, I know. And my brother's the same way, but I couldn't even watch Dragon Ball Super.
I thought it was just fucking love it. I'm actually
terrible writing. It's the exact same shit over and over and over.
That's why I love it.
Every opportunity they have to make it better, Akira Toriyama is like, nope, I can't do that, because the one time I tried to do something different, everybody got mad at me. So here's the same old shit. Power creep, power creep, power creep. Here's the same exact form, except this time it's red. Now it's blue. Now it's silver. Fuck out of here. Shit's horrible. Goku is a terrible character.
Yes, he is. But it's
Give some shine to Vegeta or something.
But my point is that, I think there's only been a few times in anime, like Dragon Ball Z would happen to be one of them, where I shied away from the extreme violence and the extreme nudity. And even then, I've gotten a hold of, as per most of us have, the fucking uncut Japanese versions where you actually see some cussing and a little bit more blood and occasionally a nipple. So, outside of that, my anime, that's what I look for. I can't stand watching these ones where you've got, even though it's interesting, but you see these chicks running around in these skimpy outfits, but you never see the nudity, and all you hear is these high pitched voices and giggling and shit like that. I'm just like, why do people watch this? It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, if I can't deal with anime tropes, so like there's a lot of those I just don't watch. Like it took me forever to watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which was fantastic. It's an amazing series. And I never watched it because I hated the few things I saw from Full Metal Alchemist. But when someone was like, well, it's like Hellsing and Hellsing Ultimate. It's just a remake, but done better, closer to the manga. I was like, oh, well, shit, okay. So I did it, and I was glad I did it, but there's a lot of animes I cannot do. I watched season 1 of Bleach, think it's fucking garbage.
Nope, I couldn't get into Bleach either.
Yeah, Bleach is
super
terrible.
Fucking garbage.
I watched all of Naruto.
Yeah, I don't like it. I watch things like Ghost in the Shell, Paranoia Agent, certain Gundams. I like the more political parts of Gundam.
Meanwhile, I like the one where they're Power Rangers and wrestling each other.
Yeah, exactly. Like when me and Jay watch Gundam Wing, I'm more like, when's Trace Kush Renata coming back? And Jay's over here like, Gundam Wing got these lasers go boom.
That's pretty accurate. Not to say that I can't appreciate the story beats, but yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, cool. But yeah, I can't remember which one it was, but there's one Gundam where the plot was that people with Gundams were like wrestlers, and I want to say it was like G Gundam or something like that.
It's G Gundam where they have the Street Fighter like tournament.
Yeah,
no, I don't like it. Fucking no.
It's terrible.
And see, I like the only. It's got to be a very, very strong story to take me away from wanting the violence and the nudity. Like Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue was a fucking fantastic fucking anime. And
same guy who did Paranoia Agent.
Yeah, and the story was superb. I mean, I bought the book. You know what I'm saying? That came out, and so that one I really, really dig. But like one of my favorite, and I can't remember the name of it now. But this demon is fucking this chick, and he fucks her so hard that he goddamn rips her head off. It's fantastic.
Are you sure?
I like
you're not
how there was
watching
some
hentai.
Legend of the Overfiend.
Is that what that is?
So it's something along those lines, like Legend of the Overfiend or something like that.
Yeah, but see, I'm into
that
that
is what you're talking about.
Extreme violence. And
Jay's into
extreme nudity.
Bono no Pico.
No,
Jay, that's not what you're into.
No.
Jay says watch Bono no Pico. People.
Nope. Don't do that.
Yeah. So and I want to say something.
If it was instead of Shota, I'd probably be into it, but that's besides the point.
I think that's grosser. Because you're a straight male, that makes it grosser. At least if it was Shota, you could be like, I'm in it for the story.
Yeah.
So there is an amazing anime series coming to Netflix called Neon Genesis Evangelion. I have bad news. It is Netflix is doing a new fucking dub for it.
That doesn't bother me.
It does bother me because the character voices for Evangelion, I know. That would be like if I watched Dragon Ball Super, the English dub, and they changed everyone's voice.
I probably wouldn't watch that, so I feel where you're coming from.
Like,
I guess
and it's
I just
more
don't
important
have as much of attachment as you do.
Because Evangelion is one of the greatest animes of all time, and I'm very sad that they are doing a new dub for it. Maybe the dub's going to be great, but I just don't think it's going to be like the dub for Neon Genesis Evangelion was perfect. Everyone was spot on, and it's one of the greatest animes ever. It is a sci-fi anime, but it deals directly with a lot of horror elements and deep psychological elements and religion and monsters.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
It's so good.
And see,
I plan on rewatching it soon.
And see, that's one of the ones that you and I have talked about, Jerry. I've never gotten into Evangelion. And so
Evangelion takes a bit to get through, and then when you watch it, a lot of times you might come out with just going, "Why? What the fuck?" Like,
and see, you're not the first person that's ever said that to me about it. And so that's the reason why I've never really gotten into it, because I've heard that it's an undertaking when you get into it. But the point that I was making by saying that is the fact that the dub part, when it comes to Netflix, probably ain't going to bother me because I don't know it like you do.
You know what's funny is that a lot of times when someone's like, "Oh, it's gonna be so much to take on," when they're talking about anime series, they say that because it's like, you know, one of those anime series that have like 400 fucking episodes. The thing about Evangelion is it doesn't. It's like 26 episodes, and 2 movies. One of the movies you don't have to watch, and then there's
recap.
Yeah, and then there's 3 other movies that is kind of the same thing as the series, but a slightly different retelling with some new characters and stuff. It's very strange, but it's very good. But the thing about Evangelion is not that it's because it's only like 26 episodes. The undertaking is the mental state you are going to be in, because it is created by Hideki Anno, who holds the Guinness World Records for the most depressing person on this fucking planet. There's literally no one as sad as Hideki Anno ever in the world. I know a lot of you horror fans have no idea who he is. He directed Shin Godzilla. That might be the only thing you know him from. Unless you've watched some shit like Death Kappa. He was in that. But Evangelion is a lot to take in psychological. It's a thinker. It's where you have to think a fucking lot. And you're not supposed to have to think a lot in your giant robot punch monster in the face show, but you have to do it here. But that's okay, because Berserk will get into some of the same territory where giant monster gets sliced with a giant sword, and we have to think about the repercussions of humanity and what we are doing to ourselves.
I just love that while it's making you think like that, it's also like, well, here's some cool-ass mech fights.
Yeah, exactly. So, but with that being said, this episode of Berserk, which is what we're talking about, is a great episode. We are still kind of in an introductory phase, and this is the real introduction, because the previous episode shows you shit from way later down the road. This episode is the true introduction to Guts and Griffith and Casca and the Band of the Hawk, and you'll start to get to know them. And from here on, we are starting the real story, what people consider the best arc of all of Berserk, the Golden Age arc. So, Kenneth, I'm excited to see how you feel about the series once we get deep into it. I know me and Jay fucking love it, and we will take any excuse to rewatch this. Berserk is around. You can find it, guys. A lot of times the episodes are on YouTube. There is a DVD of it, a collection. It kind of fluctuates in price.
Oh man, it was expensive, but my mom got it free for Christmas, and it's so worth it if you like the series.
Yeah, sometimes it's like $30, rarely, but most of the time it's in like the $70 range. If you're region free, you can spend about $30 and import the Blu-ray from the UK, which is fantastic. Because besides the Japanese Blu-ray, it's the only way you can watch a high definition version of it. Because I think there were high definition versions of the episodes on YouTube, but I think those got taken down. But you can still find good quality episodes on YouTube. So watch Berserk. You will not regret it. It's horror in a medieval setting, but it's a mixture of monsters and psychological horror and war. It's a lot. You will go into the depths with this show. So definitely check it out and continue to watch it. And if you don't, we put it at the end of the show so you can skip it.
It's true.
You know, whatever you want to do. With that being said, make sure you are checking us out on YouTube. I don't think I'm going to have an episode this week. I've just got too much stuff going on this week medically. So I'm probably not going to put anything out. But I'll probably do something next week, depending. I don't know yet. Either way, I did a video on Cannibal Holocaust and how the director Ruggero Deodato almost got charges of murder put against him for killing his cast. So check out that; it's pretty fucking neat. Check us out. Well, you're listening to the podcast, so you already know you can check us out all over the place on that. Check us out on Facebook. We have a fan page where me and Jay post a bunch of really cool horror memes. And then we also have a Facebook group page if you want to get real intimate with us. You can also check out Kenneth on Instagram. He is active Instagram user now with the screen name Silent Hill Biker 66.
Yeah, he's got some hot pictures on there.
Yeah. Sexy. I'm finna start posting some of Jay too.
Oh yeah.
Screenshots from when we turn on the cameras.
Yeah, man.
We also have shirts. You can get all these. We've got links in the description for all that. And coming up soon, sometime in the near future, we're kind of in the planning phase for it. But we're going to be doing a giveaway box. So that will be dope. I haven't quite figured out everything for that, but it's in the pre-planning phase. I have no clue what our next episode is because we're going a little willy-nilly for the next, month or two. We did our strict horror Coliseum, so now we're kind of having some fun and just doing single movies. So if you've got something you want us to do, let us know in the Facebook group. Maybe we'll do it. With that being said, like I said, we are on Legion Podcast. Great shows on there, like Cinema Psyops and the podcast by the Cemetery. So check out some shows on there. We love you. I put a little too much emphasis on that love and that hurt. So do you guys have anything left you want to say?
Thanks for checking us out. I'll give a shout out to Heather, who recently bought a shirt from us all the way to Canada. That was awesome to see.
Oh, yeah, I'm Canada.
Yep.
I don't know what accent I used when I said that. That was not a Canadian accent.
It was like German Scheiser video.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I
sounded
love
like
Heather.
a little bit of Minnesota in there too. Yeah, she's real cool. She really supports us, and she deserves all the credit for that. That was really fucking cool.
Yeah, she ride or die.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan. And she did that video with us on YouTube. It was fun.
The video with y'all.
Video. Oh yeah, Kenneth wasn't in that video.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to work webcams.
He doesn't need to know how to work webcam. He could do it off his damn phone.
Yeah, well, it depends on what's on the other end of the webcam. I can figure out how it works if there's a hot chick on the other side.
All right, Heather, we need your help. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, guys, fuck if I know what we're doing next. So it'll be a surprise to me and a surprise to you. We love all of you. Have a good night, day, weekend. If you're at work, if you're driving to work, all of that. Maybe take your pants off while you're listening. Do a little touching of yourself to our voices. Whatever you've got to do to make your life worth living. We love you. We're out. Good night.
I think I'm going to try to do that chick with the pins in her eyes.